Hello, welcome to Dungeons Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So, I finally saw the new Mortal Kombat movie, which came out this year. I think it came out in like April 23rd. Uh, it's directed by Simon McQuoid, who's a first-time Australian director. So, this is his first movie. So, people think the reason why a lot of these big studio movies are getting first-time directors is so like they'll do what they say, right? So it's like this movie was probably made completely by committee, which is whatever. So the movie stars Lewis Tan as Cole Young, Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero, which he was pretty much the only reason why I wanted to watch this movie. Then Karaoke Sonata as Scorpion's pretty cool. So he just turned 60 this year, so it's like, wow, really bad cast. Not bad casting, but it's like, wow, it's like this guy would have been perfect 20 years ago, and you're having him play the role at 60. But yeah, whatever. You got Melina as Sissy Stringer, Mikara as Elisa Cadwell, Liu Kang as Ludi Lin. Why Google's not showing me the rest of the cast? They're showing me like people who were like in the movie from not even like two scenes, but they're not showing me the important people. Like you got Mehcad Brooks as Jax, Josh Lawson as Kano, Tadanobu Asano as Raiden, which I like that actor, but like yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible as Raiden. You got Ng Chin Han as Shang Tsung, Max Huang as Kung Lao. You got Laura Brent as Allison. Who's that? Who's the chick that plays like Sonya Blade? They're not showing me her at all. Okay. You got Daniel Nelson as Cabal, Angus Sampson as Goro. The guy from fucking the Insidious movies? No way. And you got Damon. Oh, so like one of these is the suit. Okay, Daniel Nelson is the suit actor, and Damon Harriman is the voice. Okay, which he's from Justified. Okay. Who played like? Oh, Jessica McNamee played Sonya Blade, which she was all right in the movie. Her American accent, well, she's an Australian actress, by the way. Her American accent was, I would say, suitable. It was okay, though. It kind of came off like voice actory, or like you can tell it's like it's a put up voice. It's not a natural voice or whatever. So I saw this movie late last night. Only got 4 hours of sleep. Because I saw it, I may or may not have seen it on BitChute. So it was like, oh man, this could be down by tomorrow morning. I have to watch it now. So the movie is one of those movies where if you're not paying attention, you might think this is a good movie, but it's actually a very terrible movie. It's all in the details, right? So the story for this movie, which is one of my biggest problems with the movie, where well, I'll start off with the beginning. The movie starts off in like Japan, where like Sub-Zero attacks Scorpion's village, where in this movie Scorpion is Hanzo. What was his? Hanzo Hisashi, who's like the was it Hisashi? Fuck, what's his name? Whatever, right? One of the greatest ninjas ever, right? Which I think they changed his name, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't the fuck. They're not showing me like Scorpion's like real name. I know it's Hanzo something, but like I don't think it was like Hanzo. I don't think it was like the the real Hanzo Hasashi, but I guess he is. I don't fucking know. Maybe. So he fights Sub-Zero, gets his ass kicked, right? And people were complaining that the spear in the movie, which is a shuriken attached to a rope, his wife was using it as like a gardening tool. So people were like, is fucking Scorpion's like shuriken, like spear, a fucking gardening tool? No, I just think they're ninjas and they just use whatever's like handy at the time. So like people think that ninjas didn't actually use shuriken and like ninjas. No, I'm retarded. Sorry. The tip of Scorpion's spear is a kunai, and shuriken are like the throwing star. My bad. But yeah, like people think that they didn't actually use those because they're made of iron and steel, and like ninjas started off as poor farmers, so it was actually the samurai that had those weapons. Which who the fuck knows, right? Especially aren't there like samurai ninja families like Hanzo Hasashi, who worked directly under the shogun, right? But whatever. We're not here to talk about that. Yeah, so he gets killed, and there's like a prophecy that someone who's related to someone from the Scorpion bloodline will save Earth Realm, right? So immediately we get introduced to Cole Young, whose colors are black and yellow, who throughout the movie has flashbacks of Scorpion and Hell, or the Nether Realm, right? Which just letting you know, Scorpion is not in the movie that much. He's in the beginning and like the very end, right? And people were worried Cole Young was going to be the new Scorpion because he's related. He's like Scorpion's descendant. No, he's not. Which, sorry for the spoiler, but it's like, wow, that was so dumb. First off, they got rid of Johnny Cage in the movie for this made-up character. And now this made-up character is Scorpion's descendant. So he's like completely riding off the coattails of Scorpion. And like Cole Young is a shitty fighter. He gets his... You see him like right before the fight, his MMA fight, because he's an MMA fighter. He's hanging out with his wife and daughter, and they're just getting berated by Cole Young is just getting berated by the fight organizer, saying he's a shitty fighter. All he does is punch. He doesn't defend. He doesn't know how to defend, which turns out to be his superpower later. Yes, in this movie, how the different powers work is whoever gets the Mortal Kombat dragon mark gets their own superpower, which is how they explain away everybody's abilities, right? And if somebody from Earthrealm kills somebody with the dragon mark, he gets their dragon mark, right? So yeah, so he gets his ass kicked. Jax is in the audience watching it. Is like, oh boy, this guy's supposed to save us. So yeah, so like it cuts to Earth. It cuts back to what was it called? Outworld, where there's no Shao Kahn. It's just Shang Tsung and his cronies. Shang Tsung tells Sub-Zero, go and kill the Earthrealm's champions, right? He's like, oh, what about the tournament? What about the Elder Gods? He's like, we didn't win like 9 tournaments out of 10 by playing by the rules. So Sub-Zero, who's still alive, goes off to kill Cole Young, which that scene was actually a really cool scene where like you just see everything it starts snowing, shit, the windows start freezing, right? Which, he took, after the fight, he took his, like, family out to get ice cream or food or whatever. And, Jack shows up, takes him in his SUV, tells Cole Young to take the car to go meet Sonya Blade in Gary, Indiana, where she's living in a shitty, like, trailer park, and she has, like, Kano locked up. So, like, Jax goes off to fight Sub-Zero, gets his arms frozen off, and, is left for dead by Sub-Zero, right? Which was a cool scene. Not gonna lie, it was a cool scene. And there was some cool attention to detail where, like, he kicks him off. He freezes his arms, he kicks him down, and he falls and breaks off the rest of his arm as he's falling. That was cool. That was cool details. But, like, there are other scenes in the movie where they completely, like, made mistakes, right? Yeah. So after that, Cole Young meets up with Sonya Blade and Kano. They get attacked by Reptile. Kano gets released. They fight Reptile all together. After that, they go off to look for Raiden's temple. Kano's one of the chosen ones. Sonya Blade isn't, but she learned about it through Jax. They go on this journey to find Raiden's temple. They meet up with Liu Kang, who throws a fireball at Kano, tells them about the mark and the magic powers that they can get. They get to Raiden's temple. Raiden's like a complete asshole, berates everybody. Our fighters get trained by Liu Kang and Kung Lao, who just teleports out of nowhere, and it looks really, the CGI looks really dumb. And the entire time, they're treating Kano like shit, which Kano is an asshole in the movie, but he's like a funny asshole, and pretty much everybody else is an asshole as well. So when the villains, who one of them is Cabal, right, goes to offer, like, Kano to betray Earthrealm's, like, Guardians. It's no surprise that he actually did, but it was like, fuck, man, I really liked Kano in this movie, and it would have been nice, since we can't have Johnny Cage in the movie, can we not have one white guy be in the movie, be like a good guy? Right? Because, like, because all the rest of our cast of heroes are Asian, and one Caucasian woman, and Jax, who gets really shitty robot arms, and when his power activates, he gets better fucking robot arms. It's super fucking dumb, right? Super dumb. It's like the stupid magic powers in the movie, like, contemplates for, like, everybody's weaknesses, and to the point where, like, if somebody has, like, Cole Young, who has to fight Goro, whose powers doesn't activate until he's fighting Garo. He's defending his family from Garo, who he gets sent away because he's so shitty, but, like, Garo went after him. Because he's such a shitty fighter in the movie, the stupid Dragon Mark's like, oh, fucking hell, I have to give this guy a fucking OP power, which his power is basically, it looks a lot like Brass Body from Man with the Iron Fist, right? Where, like, he gets this, like, metal, like, sleeves on his arm and metal, like, armor over his chest, and when he gets hit, it stores up kinetic energy, and then he can, like, use it back on who he's fighting. He also generates from his armor 2 bladed tonfas, which were, like, really, really dumb. And somehow he knows how to, like, use the bladed tonfas, even though he's an MMA fighter, right? Which I really like some of the MMA moves that he uses, especially on, like, on Goro, but then like he was getting his ass kicked by Goro, and as soon as he gets his magic powers, he just beasts like Goro and like kills him, like cuts off his hand, like guts him, stabs him through the eye, and it was like, oh my god, that was so dumb. That was so dumb. There's also like other fights. You have like Jax with his new robot arms, beefed up robot arms thanks to the power. Fights Reiko, who I didn't even know who that guy was. At first, I'm like, is that Shao Kahn? But no, I realized he couldn't be because he's like working under Shang Tsung, and it turns out, oh, he's this guy. He's this like Shao Kahn ripoff from Mortal Kombat 4 called Reiko, which I've never heard of this character. But then again, I haven't played all the Mortal Kombat games. Like I pretty much missed out on all the PS2 Mortal Kombat games, right? Because a lot of them looked fucking terrible and had bad reviews, right? But whatever. You also have Nitara in the movie, who's this girl with bat wings, who Shang Tsung has a crush on her. She's like, she's beautiful, isn't she? And she just gets beasted. Like she basically gets one-shotted by Cao Long in a really awesome fatality death, right? Which was cool. And like Raiden doesn't do much in the movie. Also, like other fights in the movie, you have like Liu Kang fight Cabal, which I thought wasn't he. I remembered him being a good guy in the games. I could be wrong. I thought he was like an anti-hero or something. I don't know, but like he fights, like Liu Kang kills him, and he does a bicycle kick in the movie. Thank God. But like and it was like the fight was like pretty overall was bad. It's just that it's the thing where the fights are pretty bad in the movie, except for a couple. But like you'll have like really cool kills, right? And like I forgot to mention the Jax fight with Reiko. They're fighting above like a pit, and then like when it goes to the fatality, like Jax just claps his hands together and smashes Reiko's like head. It makes it explode, which was a cool fatality. But then it's like, you have like the pit, you have the spikes in the pit. Like what the fuck, right? And like what's his name? Cole Young goes off to fight Sub-Zero at the end of the movie because Sub-Zero kidnaps his family, takes him back to the gym, which is the only really cool like background fight in the movie. Sorry, background like fighting area in the movie, because all the other like the set designs and the backgrounds are fucking terrible. Outworld looks like a wasteland where there's like no buildings and shit. Like they put no effort into the backgrounds and the attention to detail in the movie. Like, and it's the thing where when it comes to costumes and stuff, they put a lot of work in. But like when it comes to like the background stuff, they put like no work into the fucking background shit. Which this movie has a $55 million budget, way bigger budget than the fucking first movie. Let's look up the budget for the first movie. Right. Also, the music was shit in the movie. You had like the Mortal Kombat remix of the original Mortal Kombat theme would play like during the fights for like a little bit. It had fuck, they're not telling me the budget. Let me look. I fucking hate Google. Oh my god. Budget. 20 million. So when you adjust to inflation, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but yeah. Honestly, dude, like, it's the thing where, like, you're gonna have people who think this movie is better than the original for no other reason than the gore in the movie. But other than that, like, dude, like, you have, like, way worse of a soundtrack. You have way worse set, way worse sets in the movie, right? The characters are assholes, and, like, most of our characters die. Like, a lot of the characters die, including, like, fan favorites like Goro. Which Goro died in the first movie, so I'm not, like, too surprised that he died in this one, right? But, like, wow, he just, like, that he just dies in a stupid way. And then one problem I have in this movie, which is my biggest problem, is in one of the trailers for this movie, Scorpion is talking English to Sub-Zero, right? Which, and by the way, the best fight scene in the movie, I would probably say, is the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero at the end of the movie, where he's fighting with Cole Young. But, like, he only speaks Japanese throughout the movie, and one of the lines in the trailer that was, like, really epic was he's speaking English and saying, "No matter how many people of my people you put in the ground, I'll keep coming after you," or something like that, right? So he never says that in this movie, but, like, the Shang Tsung character says something very similar, and then, like, takes, like, after he loses, he takes all the dead bodies of his fighters and, like, leaves. And it's implied that Sub-Zero, who was killed in the movie, is going to come back as Noob Saibot, which, no surprise there. Which, when Sub-Zero took off his armor and stuff in the movie, he looked like Noob Saibot already, so it's, like, it's not a big shock. Which, I like Noob Saibot, because, like, his powers are, like, pretty shitty, or it's, like, shitty compared to Sub-Zero, but whatever, right? So, I don't know, the movie, it's the thing where, like, they obviously did listen to, like, fan criticism of the other movies, but honestly, dude, like, this movie, it's just, like, it's like mediocre at best, but, like, but because, like, it's based off a fighting game, and, like, here's the thing, there's so many bad, like, fighting game movies that this movie looks good compared to a lot of them, but honestly, dude, in my opinion, this movie is, like, a 5 out of 10 at best, and I'm only giving it that much because I really like the costumes, I like Kano's character, but, like, overall, I thought the movie was bad, but, like, because, they put a lot of detail in the costumes, and the fight choreography wasn't bad, and there's also the, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Oh, the gore. Yes, the gore in the movie is very cool. The ultraviolence, right? Very cool. But, like, other than that, man, this movie, it's the thing. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you're probably gonna have to see this movie anyway. But it's like, yeah, don't get your hopes up, because it seems like, to me, it seems like people either love it or hate it. But to me, it's just mediocre at best. Like, this movie, man, like, hopefully, apparently this movie is going to get a sequel, but I kind of, like, according to Google, it only made, like, $50 million when it was a $55 million, like, movie, but, like, but apparently, like, people, I saw Mr. H review put out a video saying, like, this movie was, like, at the top of the box office or some shit. I don't fucking know, dude. Whatever. Yeah, like, the movie's, like, a 5 out of 10. Watch it if you want, but yeah, I'm just, like, I was not happy. Alright, guys, peace.